Okay, so I hope you can see the slides, right? Yes. Okay, so in the last session, we were discussing about Indian polity.
It's
Yes,
showing,
and that was an introduction.
sir, your screen till now not visible. Only it's showing start. Yes. Okay.
Okay, is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So in the last okay. So in today's session, we are supposed to discuss things regarding the Indian Constitution, various rights, various formations of Indian
Sorry to
Constitution.
interrupt, sir, but
So in the
your
last
slide.
session, we discussed about the formation. Sorry.
So your slides are not visible. Now it is visible.
Okay. Yes, now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the Indian Constitution. So the preamble is called the introduction letter of the Indian Constitution. So we say as the Indian preamble as the introduction letter of the Indian Constitution. Then the preamble was amended by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment in 1976. In this, three new words, that is socialist, secular, and integrity were added. That is in the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976. Three new words introduced, that is socialist, secular, and okay, so it is about the Indian preamble. So Indian preamble is known as the introduction letter to the Indian Constitution and the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976, in which three new words, socialist, secular, and integrity, were added to the Indian Constitution. Then the preamble serves as an introduction to the Constitution. Then it secures liberty, equality to all the citizens of India and promotes fraternity among the people. Okay. Okay, I think there is a slow connectivity right for the time being. Okay, so please to adjust with that. I think it will be okay by minutes. Okay. Yes. Can you see the slides now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is people connectivity. Okay. Excuse that. So this is the Indian preamble. So the preamble it states the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Then, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all. Okay, so in the Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
The
So,
slides are not
in the year
visible.
of 1940, okay, I think it will be visible you by no time. Yes, was it visible for you?
And not yet, sir.
Okay, I think now it's correct, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Visible now.
Yes, is the slides visible now?
From your side, net is very slow, sir.
Yes, yes, actually,
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
okay. So we're talking about the Indian preamble. Okay, that is the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute, and that says about this thing, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic. Okay, then justice, social, economic, and political. Okay, there are some connectivity issues are showing today for the moment. Okay, anyway, we'll see. Yes, now the slides visible for you. Okay, the four components of the preamble that it is represented here. First is the preamble indicates that the source of authority of the constitution lies with the people of India. Okay, that's the first thing. That's the four component, that is components of the preamble. The preamble indicates that the source of authority of the constitution lies with the people of India. Second, it declares India to be a socialist, secular, okay. Third, it states its objective to secure justice, liberty, equality to all citizens and promote fraternity to maintain unity and integrity of the nation.
Sir, the slides are not
And the
visible.
fourth component. Okay.
Now it's visible, sir.
Yeah,
Okay. So some sudden disrupt in the network is being happening. Okay. So please excuse that. Yes. So these are the four components of the preamble. It states that first is the preamble indicates that the source of authority of the constitution lies with the people of India. Second, it declares India to be a socialist, secular, democratic, and republic nation. Third component is that it states its objective to secure justice, liberty, equality to all citizens and promote fraternity to maintain unity and integrity of the nation. And finally, it mentions the date, November 26, 1949, on which the Constitution was adopted. So you should have to keep in mind the year, day, date, that is November 26, 1949. Yes, can you see the slide? Making of the Constituent Assembly.
Yes, sir, the slides are visible. So it's like the four components of the preambles are that slide in front, both.
Okay, okay, we'll discuss once more. So these are the four components of the preamble. That is, preamble first is the source of authority, that is the constitution that with people of India. Second, it declares to be socialist, secular, democratic, and republic. And third, it is the justice, liberty, equality, then fraternity to maintain unity and unity of the nation. And the fourth is the date which the Indian Constitution was adopted, that is November 26, 1949. These were the four components of the Indian preamble. Okay. Then next we are supposed to Yes, the Indian, because of the cabinet mission plan. Under the cabinet mission plan, the Constituent Assembly came into existence in November 1946. Second, the Indian National Congress had officially for the first time demanded a Constituent Assembly in 1935. The idea was the brainchild of M.N. Roy. Okay, that is Indian National Congress had officially for the first time. They demanded the Constituent Assembly in 1935. It was because of the idea that is brainchild of M.N. Roy. Then the British government accepted the demand in the August offer of 1914, and finally we discussed about the Cripps proposal on the framing of constitution came out in 1942. As we have discussed in the last class, there are various proposals and various foreign models or various foreign constitutions. Okay, it is having some interact of network connect. Yes, it's from here part. Yes, I hope you had seen this slide, isn't it? Only there are 3 points. That is the making of Constituent Assembly. First is based upon the Cabinet Mission Plan, the Constituent Assembly that came in November 1946. Then about the brainchild of M.N. Roy, they accepted the first time, and about the Cripps proposal on framing of Constitution. Okay, that is 1942. Yes, then it says about the composition. That is, under the cabinet mission plan, the Constituent Assembly came into existence in November 1946. Then it says about the main features. That is the total strength. That is 389. Out of this, 296 were allotted to British India and 93 to princely states. Among this 89, 296 were allotted to British India. Yes, second feature is that every province and princely states was allotted seats in proportion to their population. Third is that the seats for British were divided among Muslims, Sikhs, and general. That's the division of seats for British. The representative from each community were elected by voting in the Provisional Legislative Assembly. Okay, then the fifth one is the head of the princely states nominated their members. All the head of the princely states, they have been nominating their members to the Constituent Assembly. So these five are the main features of the Constituent Assembly that came under the Cabinet Mission Plan in 1940. Okay. The functions of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly drafted the Constitution. That first is, it ratified India's membership of the Commonwealth in 1949. Second, it adopted the national flag on June 22, 1947. Okay, that is the national flag on July 22, 1947. Adopted the national song on January 24, 1950. Adopted the national song on January 24, 1915. Then adopted the national anthem that January 24, 1915. Then elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first president of India on January 24, 1915. So these are the function, that is Constituent Assembly drafted the Constitution. Then it ratified India's membership of the Commonwealth in May 1949. Then it adopted the national flag on July 22, 1947. Then it adopted the national song on January 24, 1915. Yes. Finally, they elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first president of India on January 24, 1950. All these are things that happened in January 24, 1950. Okay. Then it says about the drafting committee that their constituent assembly contained many committees for various purposes, such as House Committee, Rule for Procedure Committee, etc. But most important of this was the drafting committee. Okay, there were various houses for the constituent assembly, even though the drafting committee was important among them. That is, it was set up on August 29, 1947 and was tasked with preparing a draft of the Oh, it shows a very lag in the connectivity. Okay. Yes. Is the slides visible? Drafting committee.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, that was August 29, 1947. That was preparing. They were supposed to prepare the drafting committee. Then the members, the senators of were Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee, then N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, then Dr. K. Munshi, then T. Krishnamachari, then next is Said Mohad Saluha, then N. Mata, then Alladi Krishnasamy Iyer. These were the members in the drafting committee. Okay. So this is just to know about the various members who are present in the drafting committee, and the objective of this drafting committee is to prepare the draft of the new constitution. Okay. Then the enactment and enforcement of the constitution took place on November 26, that is 1949, and January 26, 1915. That is the enactment and enforcement of the Indian constitution that took place in between these 2 days. These 2 years, that is November 1914 to January 26, 1915. However, some parts have come to force on 26 November, but there were some parts which was came into existence by November 26, 1949 itself, with the passing of the Constitution and it being passed. So actually the complete or Indian constitution. Okay. The next is functions of the Constituent Assembly. What all are the functions of the Constituent Assembly? So we had seen the members of Constituent Assembly. Now it's a function of the Constituent Assembly. That is, first is framing the Constitution. They should how to frame the Constitution. Then second is enacting laws and involved in the decision-making process. Enacting laws involved in the decision-making process. Third is it adopted the national flag on July 22, 1947. It adopted the national flag July 22, 1947. Fourth is it accepted and approved India's membership of the British Commonwealth in May 1949. Then it accepted and approved. Yes, then it elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first president of India in January 24, 1950. Then sixth is that it adopted the national anthem that we have already said in January 24, 1950. Then seventh, it adopted the national song on January 24, 1950. So these are the functions of the Constituent Assembly. These are the various committees that we have said about drafting committee, which was very important, that to draft the new Indian Constitution. So here we name the various committees. Yeah, third is Provisional Constitution Committee. Then fourth is Drafting Committee. And the fifth is Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights and Minorities. Then sixth is Rules of Procedure Committee. And the seventh is States Committee. And eighth is Nehru Steering Committee. So these are the 8 committees which is under the Constitution Assembly. Okay, so these are the 8 committees which is being under Indian Constituent Assembly. Then next is, it's very important, Constitution Day of India. In every year we are celebrating the Constitution Day of India. It is very important. That is 26th November every year. Every year 26th November is considered as the Constitution Day of India. So keep in mind, Constitution Day of India is 26th November every year. Okay. Then Indian Constitution, that important amendments at place. So hereafter, we are supposed to see about the various amendments of Indian Constitution. Okay, various amendments and various articles which is being included. So first amendment is 1951. First amendment 1951. It amended articles 15, 19, 85, 87, once. Okay. Articles 31st A, 31st B, and Schedule 9 were inserted. So the First Amendment consists of Articles 15, 19, 85, 87, 174, 176, 341, 342, 372, and 376. This Articles 31 first A and 31B and Schedule 9 also are inserted. So its purpose was to remove difficulties in enforcement of Samintari related laws. That was the aim of First Amendment, that is in 1951. The next is Seventh Amendment 1956. The main purpose was reorganization of states and introduction of union territories and had provisions. Yes, so one person can be appointed. So what are the things comes under the Seventh Amendment is that the category A, B, and C of states were abolished. Article 1 and Schedule 1 was revised in the Seventh Amendment. Then second is abolition of Group C states and establishment of union territories. That also were the part of this Seventh Amendment. Third is that one person can be appointed as governor of more than one state at the same time. So a single person can be the governor for one or more states at the same time. Fourth is that the president can appoint as many judges in the High Court as he deems fit. So the president can appoint the judges for the High Court. So all this. Okay. So next is 24th Amendment. So that actually states about the Articles 13 and 368. It provided Parliament the power to amend any part of the Constitution, including fundamental rights. It also changed the language of Article 368. It made compulsory for the President to give his assent to the constitutional amendment bills. So that was the main aim of 24th Amendment 1971. Okay. The next is 25th Amendment 1972. That is, it amended Article 31 and okay, 25th Amendment 1972, that is Article 31 and inserted Article 31C. It provided that no property shall be compulsorily acquired except for public purpose. Article 31C provides that is law made to implement the provision of DPSP under the Article 39B and C shall not be declared for violation of fundamental rights under the articles. So it is regarding the violation of various rights under sections. So this is all the thing just to remember about the dates and the various amendments. If you forget all these data, just remember the amendments and the year. Okay. The next is 42nd Amendment. That's very important. That is 1976. It was called Mini Constitution of India and was brought during national. Okay. Then here now it is the 42nd Amendment. That is 42nd Amendment 1976. So this is the one which is very important. Although it was called the mini constitution of India and was brought during national emergency. In the case of national emergency, this 42nd Amendment in 1976 was proposed, and that was known as the mini constitution of India. So there are six parts for that. That includes the preamble, legislature, about the president, about the fundamental rights, and also the part four, the adding fundamental duties of the citizens. So these were the six objectives of the 42nd Amendment 1970. As we have said, preamble, it inserted word socialist, secular, and integrity in the preamble. That is in the 46th Amendment 1976. Then legislature, life of Lok Sabha and state assemblies was extended from 5 to 6 years. That was also during this. And the president, Article 74 was amended as Presidential Act in accordance with advice by Council of Ministers. That also was proposed in this amendment. Next is about the fundamental rights. All DPSP were given primarily over the fundamental rights under Articles 14, 19, 31. All these DPSPs were given rights. It was some new directives were added in Part 4 that includes the fundamental duties of the citizens. So, for the fundamental duties of citizens, also there was a changes. So, was called the 42nd Amendment 1976, which is known as the mini Constitution of India, and that was brought during the national emergency time. Okay. Then here the rest amendments. So just to know the amendment and the year at least. And then 43rd Amendment 1977. It was brought after the end of national emergency. Some of the provisions of 43rd Amendment were repeated. Then 52nd Amendment 1980. The defection of members elected on a party ticket, other party was illegal. One party to other party was made illegal. That is in 52nd Amendment 1985. The next is 61st Amendment 1989 reduced the voting age from 21 to 18 by amending articles. So as we are having voting right in current year of 80, so that was actually the voting right for people was 21. But during first amendment 1989, it was reduced from 21 to 18 by amending Article 326. Okay, then 23rd Amendment. Each consideration is very important. That is from 21 to 18. That was 61st Amendment 1989. It was important. So keep in mind. The next is 73rd Amendment 1993. Insert Part 9 containing Articles 243 to 243O. That is, it included provisions Panchayat Raj Constitution and Schedule 11 in Constitution. So in these provisions, there were some changes. Also have occurred in 23rd Amendment 1993. Then the 74th Amendment in the same year 1983, that made provision for urban local government. Okay, that urban local government, it added part 9A containing articles 23 to 43 ZG. So these all are the articles. Various articles says about things. Okay, here is the 86th Amendment 2000. It made the provision for free and compulsory education between 6 and 40 years of age. Now we know that at least for the age of 14, people should have to be educated. That came after the 86th Amendment 2002. The Act inserted Article 21A in Fundamental Rights. It amended Articles 45 and 51A. So this also keep in mind that the basic education, compulsory education between 6 to 14 years was 86th Amendment 2002. Then finally, the 91st Amendment 2004. It restricted the size of Council of Ministers to 50% to the total size of the House. size of ministers. That is, it reduces two or three left. Anyway, we'll go through this. So if you have some doubts regarding these things, I think we will clear it in the next class. Okay, or we will compensate these things in the next class. Okay, I think there is 2 or 3 slides left for us. Anyway, we'll go through that and we will compensate these things in the upcoming classes. Okay, please
Yeah.
cooperate for this.
Okay, sir. Sir, please provide all your lectures because we haven't received.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
We'll be providing all those. Yeah, it will be provided, no issues. Okay. Then now it's about the fundamental rights. So first, as we know, the right to equality. That is okay, right to equality. That is from Article 14 to Article 18. Article 15, that is non-discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. That was very important. That is Article 15 states these things. Article 16 states that equality of opportunity in public employment. That is very important. That is Article 16. Article 17 states that abolition of untouchability. Untouchabilities were abolished. Article 18 is that abolition of titles. That also being part of right to equality. That means everyone is equal before everything. Okay. Yes. Next is second, that is the right to freedom. Right to freedom. It contains 3 articles. That is Article 20, 21, 22. Okay. That is protection in respect of conviction for offenses. Then protection of life and personal liberty. Then third is safeguard against arbitrary arrest and detection. All these 3 comes under the right to freedom. Then the third one is Article 23 to 24, that is right against exploitation. So here we're discussing about the various fundamental rights. That first is right to equality, second is right to freedom, third is right against exploitation. That contains Articles 23 to 24. Then next is right to freedom of religion. That is article right from 25 to 28. Then Articles 29 to 30. That is right to minorities. That is cultural and educational rights. As we have seen, Article 29 to 13, it's about says about the cultural and educational rights. Then sixth, it is a right to constitutional remedies, consisting of Article 32 to 35. So here you guys have to think about the various articles, from what to what various things are distributed in the Indian Constitution. Okay. Yes, I think here is the end of the session. So this was completely based on the Indian Constitution, then various rights, and also the Indian Preamble, importance of Indian Preamble. Okay, I think the session will be useful to know about Indian polity regarding completely on Indian Constitution. Okay, so if you have some doubts here means we will clarify. I think in last class you have someone had informed me about the current scenario. That means after current Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he had introduced certain firms. And actually, I was planning to have a class for the separate class for this, I think for the last 5 years. That is That means what all are the various laws or various firms introduced and various schemes regarding Prime Minister. Okay, I think we'll have a special session for that. So that will be more helpful.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yes, so for today, I think we can wind up the class. Okay, there was some network issues, so kindly excuse me for that. So it was actually...
Can you discuss the things in next class, sir?
Yes, of course.
Okay, well, because we have an exam, SRB NET exam, so it will be helpful for that exam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No issues.
Okay, sir.
Yes, is there any other queries?
Yes, sir. Could you please again show the slide for at least 2 seconds because some of the slides were not visible.
Okay, sure. Okay, so this is the first slide, I think. Yeah, what is the preamble of Constitution of India? Here we explain the Indian preamble that was enacted in Amendment Act 1976. Okay, that is the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976. Then it secures people with justice, liberty, equality, then promotes fraternity. Then this is actually the preamble, as we know, and we all have learned about the preamble. So this is just to have the words, that is justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay. Then here, Indian Constitution Assembly, that is 26th day of November 1949. It came to adopt. Then these are the four components of the preamble. These three terms, socialist, secular, and democratic, then ensures justice, liberty, and equality. Then the date, November 26, 1914. Then here we discuss about the making of Constituent Assembly. As we know, as a result of the Cabinet Mission Plan, this came into existence. Then it says about the brainchild of M.N. Roy. Then it says about the British August offer, that is Cribb's proposal, that we have learned in the last time about Cribb's proposal. Then here it is the composition of the Constituent Assembly, that it contains 389, the total strength. Out of this 389, 296 were allotted to British India. Then the rest 93 to princely states. Then to the power distribution, the seats for British were divided into Muslims, Sikhs, and general. Represents, that is by voting in provisional legislative assembly. Then all the princely states, the head of the princely states nominated the members. Okay, that was actually the composition of the Constituent Assembly. Then here also the functions, that is the adoption of our national anthem, that's national song, in January 24, 1915. Then our national flag, that is in July 22, 1947. Then ratified India's membership of Commonwealth, that is in May 1949. So all these things, all this date, day, everything should have to be remembered. Then elected, then they have elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first president of India on, that is in January 24, 1915. Okay. Then here the drafting committee, as we have discussed, there are various other committees. Drafting committee was more important. Why? Because drafting constitution was prepared here. Then Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and this other six members, they are included in the drafting committee, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was chairman among this. Okay, the duty was to draft a new constitution for India. Yes, then okay. Then again the functions of Constituent Assembly, that's adoption of various things. Then about the president, then it acceptance of Commonwealth in May. All these things comes under the framing the constitution. So all these are the various functions which comes under the Constituent Assembly. Then here are the 8 committees that comes under the Constituent Assembly. That's Constitution Making, Union Powers Committee, then Union Constitution Committee. Then next is Provisional Constitution Committee. Then Drafting Committee. Drafting Committee is more important among them. Why? Because they draft the new constitution. Then Advisory Committee or Fundamental Rights and Minorities, Rules of Procedural Committee. Then States Committee. Every committee is important for its own function, even though Drafting Committee is more focused. Why? Because it drafts the constitution. That's why. Then Jawaharlal Nehru Steering Committee. These are the 8 committees which comes under the Constituent Assembly. Yes, then this is the thing that you have to keep in mind always at the Constitution Day of India. We are celebrating the Constitution Day of India, that is 26th November every year. As the Constitution Day of India. It should have to be kept in mind for various exams. So various competitive exams you have to keep in mind all these things, and all these things will be important for UPSC exams, IAS, IPS, something. So here this Indian polity, economics, everything will be more helpful for you people. Yes, then here says about the various amendments. Even though sometimes you may forget the articles, try to gather which amendment and in which year. So the first amendment that was in 1951, it says about the enforcement, that to remove the difficulties in enforcement of Samintari related laws. The next is 7th amendment that is in 1956, that abolishes the establishment of union territories. The president can appoint many judges in high courts. This was the main things happened in those period. Okay, as this union territories and the presidents, that is high courts, legislative councils. Regarding all these things, 7th amendment 1956. Then 24th amendment 1971, it says about the including various fundamental rights, that is in article 13 and 368. Then 25th amendment, that also public purpose, that is compulsory accord for the public purpose, this 25th amendment, and that was in 1972. Then this is the very important, that is 42nd amendment, that is in 1976. This was called as the mini constitution of India, and this was brought during the national emergency period. And here it has 6 periods, that is preamble, words, that is socialist, secular and integrity, then about the legislature, then about the president, then about the fundamental rights, then about the fundamental duties to citizens. All these things comes under the 42nd amendment 1976. Why it is important is that it is considered as the mini constitution of India. Okay, then the rest of the things. 43rd amendment, that is in 1977, that after the emergency period it was adopted. Then 52nd amendment, that is in 1985, that is party ticket to other parties was made illegal in this law. Then 61st amendment that introduced, that is very important, 61st amendment 1989. What was the thing? It reduced the voting age from 21 to 18 by amending article 326. By amending article 326, the age it is being reduced up to 18 from 21, that is the voting age. Then 73rd amendment, as it includes various Panchayat Raj institutions. Then 74th, it includes urban local government plans provisions. Then 86, that's also important, 86 amendment 2002, that made the provision of free and compulsory education, that is compulsory education for people under age 6 to 14 years. 6 to 14 years of age, the members should have to be educated. Okay, that is free and compulsory education should have to be given for this people. Then about the fundamental rights also, it amends in article 45 and 51A, that also comes under the 86th amendment 2002. The 91st amendment, that also resize, that is depends upon the house, the number of ministers, so the percentage of council of ministers is being restricted, or it is being resize to 15%. Then discuss about the various fundamental rights and articles, that is right to equality, that is from article 14 to 18, which consists of abolition of untouchability, then opportunity of public employment, discrimination laws, etc. That is from article 14 to 18. Then right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, right to minorities, that's cultural and educational rights comes under this. Then right to constitutional remedies. These are the various rights. Yes, I think now the slides are much more clear than
Yes, sir.
the previous. Okay. Yes, is there any queries? Okay, I think it's clear for members right now. Yes, okay. So in one class, I think I already said that the main thing that the current issues we will be discussing in another class for the next weekend. Okay. So I think we can wind up the session for today.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.